What happens when someone disappears, and no one's even looking for them? This is the story of Claire Holloway, a 27-year-old botanist who walked into the Appalachian woods in 2014 and never came out. No witnesses, no body, no real investigation, just a weather-stained notebook, some moss samples, and one chilling voicemail. If you're into real mysteries, disappearances, and stories that sit in your brain long after the video's over, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Claire Holloway wasn't famous, she wasn't wealthy, she wasn't the type to make headlines, but she was brilliant. She had a degree in environmental biology, spent her time cataloging rare plants in obscure places, and was working on a grant-funded research project deep in the Appalachian Mountains, tracking a species of moss that only grows above 3,000 feet. Friends described her as obsessive in the best way, meticulous, organized, and completely absorbed by her work. She wasn't antisocial, just elsewhere, always thinking about fungi, climate shifts, and things most people overlook. In early September 2014, Claire checked into a small eco-lodge in North Carolina. It was remote, closer to bears than people, and she had one goal document, a moss species she believed was migrating due to climate change. She signed the lodge's guest book. She left behind her rental car, and then she vanished. Her last known movement was caught on a game camera meant for tracking deer. The timestamp read September 8, 2014, 6:42 a.m. Claire is seen in hiking gear, carrying a backpack, stepping off a service trail not listed on any public map. This would have been the start of her second day in the field. The weather was clear, no storms, no reports of animal attacks. The trail, although unmarked, was walkable. She was expected to return to the lodge that evening. She didn't. At first, no one panicked. Researchers go dark all the time in remote areas. But after 48 hours, the lodge owner filed a report. Here's where things start to get strange. Rescue teams searched for 10 days. Dogs caught a scent that led to a moss-covered ridge and just stopped. No prints, no torn clothing, not even a candy wrapper. But they did find one thing. Tucked beneath an overhanging rock near the ridge was her field notebook, wrapped in plastic. Every page was accounted for, right up to a final entry that simply read, The real twist came 6 days after the search was called off. Claire's friend, Lacey, a fellow biologist in Asheville, received a voicemail from Claire's number at 2:13 a.m. The message was only 4 seconds long. Then a sound, like fabric brushing against the phone mic. Then Claire's voice, low, almost whispering, "Not lost. Don't come." Cell tower records confirm the call pinged from somewhere in the mountains, roughly 40 miles from where she was last seen. But by the time authorities traced it, the signal was gone. Claire's number was never active again. A TAN DT said the phone hadn't been powered on when the call was placed. In fact, by then, her battery should have been dead for days. So what happened to Claire Holloway? Theory 1, she got lost, succumbed to the elements, and her remains were simply never found. The forest is dense. People disappear in national parks all the time. But that doesn't explain the voicemail, or how her notebook ended up sheltered from rain, neatly tucked away. Theory 2, foul play. Someone may have been following her. There are reports, unconfirmed, of a reclusive group living off-grid in that region, known to be hostile to outsiders, but no evidence has ever been found. Theory 3, Claire planned her own disappearance, but that seems unlikely. She'd just received funding for her research. She left behind everything: laptop, passport, even the rental car keys. And then there's the fourth theory, the one people whisper about on Reddit threads and local forums, that she found something out there. Not a person, not an animal, something else. A few hikers have since reported odd sensations on that same ridge, the feeling of being watched, sounds without sources, even sudden nosebleeds. It's anecdotal, unprovable, but so is Claire's last entry. Sounded like breathing. Claire Holloway's case remains open. Technically, she's listed as missing, presumed deceased, but no trace of her has ever been found, just a notebook, and a voicemail that shouldn't exist. Maybe she got lost, maybe she ran, or maybe she walked into something we're not supposed to understand. If you have thoughts, theories, or just that gut feeling you get when something doesn't add up, drop them in the comments. I read everyone, and if you want more stories like this, the ones that don't always make the front page, like subscribe and stick around, because in the world of true crime, sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that never end.